Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have already discussed some of the molding processes. Those are very important for the examination point of view, such as CO2 molding, investment molding, shell molding, and other molding processes are very important. Then, along with this plaster and cement bonded molding, we'll discuss now. Then, along with this coarse characteristics, properties, different types of cores, their cores and ingredients, all will discuss in this class. Then, so coming to the what next molding process, that is a plaster molding process. This process similar to sand casting, except the mold material is plaster Paris or gypsum instead of sand. Then, like sand casting, plaster mold casting is an expandable mold process. Then, so however, it can only be used with the non-ferrous materials. It is used for casting as small as 30 gram to as large as 7 to 10 kg. Then parts that are typically made by plaster castings are lock components, gears, valves, fittings, toolings and ornaments. Then the plaster is not a pure plaster Paris, but rather as a additives to improve green strength, dry strength, permeability, and castability accordingly based on the percentage of sand. Then there goes on adding. Then, for instance, talc or magnesium oxide are also added to prevent cracking and reduce setting time. Lime and cement limit expansion during baking. Glass fibers increase strength. Then sand can be used as a filler. The ratio of the ingredients is 70 to 80% gypsum and 20 to 30% additives. The pattern is usually made up of metal. However, rubber molds may be used for complex geometry. These molds are called rubber plaster mold. These molds are also expensive, reusable, more accurate than steel molds, fast to produce and easy to change. Then the plaster is then poured over the pattern and the unit is shaken so that the plaster fills any small features. The plaster sets usually in about 15 minutes and the pattern is removed. The mold is then baked between 120 to 260 degrees centigrade to remove any excess water. The dried mold is then assembled, preheated, and the metal is poured. Then finally, after the metal has solidified, the plaster is broken from the mold. The used plastic cannot be reused. Then, so as we already discussed, then plaster Paris material cannot be reused and reclaimed. Then the molding procedure, it is exactly similar to what sand casting process only, but in the instead of sand, then here we are using a plaster Paris or gypsum. Then along with gypsum, so many additives are also they can add it. Then so they can able to what produce only non-ferrous material casting. Then so plaster mold casting is an expandable mold process. Then it is used for what production of a casting weighing from 30 grams to 10 kg, nothing but what very small to medium. Then parts like gears, valves, fittings, and other precision components, ornaments can be able to produce with us. Along with the plaster Paris material, they can also use additives such as additives to improve green strength, dry strength, permeability, castability, such as talc, magnesium oxide, lime, cement, all can be used based on the percentage of sand used. Then so slightly glass fibers can also be added to increase the strength, and even then sand can also be added as a pillar material. The ratio of ingredients is 70 to 80% gypsum and 20 to 30% additives. Maximum ingredient is of what gypsum only, and 20 to 30% is of additive. Then pattern is usually made from metal. However, rubber molds can also be used. Then these molds are also expensive, reusable, more accurate than steel molds, fast to produce, and easy to change. Then the plaster is then poured over the pattern and then shake so that the plaster Paris fills any small feature. Then it is available in slurry form. Then The pattern kept in a mold box is what poured by plaster Paris or gypsum and shaken then. Due to shaking then it will be moved into the complex area or interior of the pattern then and fills up then. So the mold is then baked between 120 to 260 degrees centigrade. After completely filling, the mold is heated between 120 to 260 degrees centigrade in an oven to remove excess water content then. Then the dried mold is then assembled, preheated, and metal is poured then mold is ready. Metal is poured into the molten metal is poured into the mold and allow it to solidify. After solidification, the mold is break removed and casting is taken out then. That is exactly the process of producing plaster Paris mold then. So normally use it for master patterns, even then use it for precision components, small to medium precision components. So next molding process is of what cement bonded sand mold then. A mixture of silica sand containing 8 to 12% cement and 4 to 6% water is used. Only cement and water then. So when making the mold then the cement bonded sand mixture must be allowed to harden fast before the pattern is withdrawn. The mold is obtained then allowed to cure about 3 to 5 days then. Then the metal is poured. Heat causes the water of crystallization of the cement to be driven off, and thus steam must be allowed to pass through the sand by means of its porosity and suitably distributed vent holes then. Large castings with intricate shapes, accurate dimensions, and smooth surfaces are usually produced by this method then. So however then cement bonded molds are rarely used because it takes a lot of time then. So only cement and 8 to 12% cement and 4 to 6% water, they are thoroughly mixed then. So this slurry they are pouring around the pattern, but it is allowed to dry for more than 8 hours then. So 8 days, not 8 hours, 8 days then. So it will be cured by that time then. Then after that they are removing the pattern, but while removing pattern it may possibility of sticking to the what pattern permanently then. So however then it is very large castings are when patterns are not readily available, in such conditions cement bonded molds are using then. So all these are the very important molding processes as we discussed then. Then coming to the what course then. Core is a compacted sand mass shaped to the desired configuration. It is a projection of sand mass in the mold then. It is used to get the internal contours like hollow portions, recesses, cavities, etc. in the casting then. It can also be used to get the external contours in the casting, example pulley grooves then. So at the exterior, wherever the pulley grooves are available, there they are fixing core then, and that portion it is not covered by molten metal during pouring then it produces a exterior then. Core is used to get intricate and complex shapes in the castings. Normally a core is surrounded by a hot molten metal and hence must possess higher properties like strength, hardness, refractiveness, etc. A core sand consists of a base sand, a binder, and water if required. Normally, special type of binders are used for the purposes, and additives are very minimum they use. If required, only for what collapsing property, slightly wood, cellulose, and cereal powders are added. Then a core sand is filled in a metal or wooden die then to get a what desired geometry of the die then. This shaped sand represents a green core. This green core gains strength after suitable treatment depending upon the type of binder used. Normally cores are expensive because of binders preparation and baking process involved, hence need of core should be minimum while designing the parts per mold then. So all these are very important what fundamentals related to the what core and all. Then coming to the what properties functions of core then, or even then functions of core then. Cores provides a means of forming the main internal cavity for hollow casting. Core provides external undercut features. Cores can be inserted to obtain a deep recess in the casting. Cores can be used to increase the strength of the mold. It can be used as a part of gating assembly. It can form the part of green sand mold and also be used to improve the mold surface then. So functions, core functions, it is exactly similar to the what pattern functions only, but although it is a means of forming main internal cavity, provides external undercut features also. Cores can be inserted to obtain a deep recesses, pockets, cavities, and highly intricate. Then cores can be used to increase the strength of the mold. Then so it can also be used as a part of gating system. And sometimes molten metal it will be move along with the core into the mold cavity then, or along the sides of the core only. Then it is a part of gating assembly, they can call it as. It can form part of green sand, it form green sand, a green sand mold, and also be used to improve the mold surface. These are all the what important functions of cores. Then coming to the what properties of core or characteristics of core. A dry sand core must possess us. Normally core should be dried in an oven to drive up the moisture, because majority of the molten metal surrounds core then. So if it surround, then many of the gases or gases defects or steam it is produced during solidification then. So that may poses many type of what defects during solidification. That is the reason then it should be dried thoroughly in an oven to drive up the moisture content available in the cores then. However, then coming to the characteristics or properties of the core then. So core should be strong and should retain their shape then. Core should have a sufficient strength to support itself without breaking. It should have high permeability and high refractoriness. High permeability nothing but what it is capable of possessing gases produced during solidification. And refractiveness, then when core sand comes in contact with the high temperature molten metal should not be fuse each other then, and should have a smooth surface to ensure smooth casting. Smooth surface because cores are normally made with the fine sand with the fine binders and costly binders also. So therefore normally surfaces is a fine then, but however then quality binders and sands should be used then. Then it should have a collapsibility to assist a free contraction of the solidifying metal. So after solidification, the core should be easily break removed or easily collapse from the solidified casting. Otherwise, it may not be assist the free contraction of the solidifying metal. You should have those ingredients which does not generate mold gases. We should not form any gases, because the binders, the sand, the additives, if added, if required added, then so that should not be form any gases then. All should be very important then. Along with this, core should be strong and should retain their shape in the mold, should not be collapsed under high temperature molten metal. Dry strength and hot strength should have them. Core should have adequate dry strength and hardness after baking then, should not be collapsed even then during handling also. Core should resist erosion by should not core should not or core should resist erosion by molten metal, because lot of molten metal you are pouring then that completely surround them, while molten metal flowing into the mold adjacent to the core, then core surfaces should not be eroded then. Core should be permeable to gases, means it should be easy to connect the gases to the atmosphere air then core should have high refractiveness as I said then core should impact good surface finish to the casting. It should impart very good surface finish then. Core should be easily collapsed in order to assist free contraction of solidifying metal as said then. So these are all the what core what properties or characteristic then core application then. Core and its form increase the versatility of molding process and operations. Any intricate can be formed with the use of core. Even if you go through the engine blocks, either it may be a 4 cylinder or 6 cylinder or any type of complex shapes, or even then very thin and highly intricate, all can be able to produce only with the help of cores. Then, in addition to recess forming holes in casting, cores are used as follow. Then, so cores are used for mold making. Cores can be used as a strainer, gates, or pouring cups. You should filter the molten metal before entering into the mold. Then, cores are used for increasing production from match plate pattern, because so match plate pattern, if you produce both the what molds at a time, and cores if you fix, then so both can be able to produce with a faster rate. Then so cores can be used as cores can be used as core mold in centrifugal casting process. Then so while it is rotating, if you fix it, then so it also able to produce what intricate in the casting. Then also it can be used as a slab core for increasing the casting output from one. Then in many aspect it may be applicable. Then core sand ingredients. Then core sand is a mixture of suitable for cores. Then core sand mixture consists of sand grains, binders for a green and cured strength, and other additives used for special purposes. The commonly used core sand mixture consists of 1% core oil, 1% cereal, and 2.5 to 6% is of what. These all these ingredients are added by weight of the molding sand. And core sand is almost similar to molding sand, but the main difference is that core sand has very low clay content and a large grain size. Then so low clay content means clay not at all added. Then only binders are sufficient. Even if require, very little clay they are added, but grains are slightly large. Then so large grain size assures higher permeability, because easy escapement of gases, they are using higher grain size. Then so mm, core sand ingredients Coarse and ingredients are granular refractories. Then some of the what commonly used granular refractories are dry silica sand, zircon, olivine, charmot, are the what type of what synthetic sands normally used for making core. Then core binders, then normally hold sand grains together, give strength to the core, make the cores erosion resistant, then impact adequate collapsibility to the core. Then core binders are of the following. Then so organic binders like core oil, cereal, pitch, wood flour, synthetic resin, etc. Then inorganic fire clay, bentonite, silica flour, iron oxide, etc. And other binders cement, sodium silicate are using. Then along with that thermoplastics and thermostatic plastics, so polystyrene and polyurethane, and some of these binders are costlier. Than normally they use it for quality core making along with the above mentioned what binder. Then water also it is used for easy mixing. Then in a core sand mixture, water content may vary from 3 to 7%, because it is required for easy mixing of all these ingredients. Binders and additives work only when moisture is present. Then otherwise they cannot be readily mix each other and move it into the complex area of the core box. Then correct amount of water develops some green strength, edge and scratch hardness, etc. Then so means if we add excess, then flowability increases. So these impressions, scratches, and what edges are more than. So if you add appropriate, then these can be avoided. Excessive amount of moisture add difficulties in making and baking core. Then Even then during preparation itself it pose a problem, and during baking extra heat it is required, but handling also it is somewhat difficult, then at that time it may break then additives are used for core sand, are almost similar to molding sand. That is depends upon the property in the core sand to be enhanced. Then accordingly, a few of the what additives they can add it. Then coming to the what the process of core making. Then process of core making. mm, um, I'll try to take up this topic then. Yes, core making basically, core making consists of the following operations basically: core sand preparation, core making, um, core making or molding, core baking, core venting, core baking, and core finishing. All these are the different steps then. So we'll discuss all these steps then. So then core sand preparation. The core sand with the binders and additives must be prepared in or additives must be mixed in a roller mixer, roller mills, or core sand mixers, or mullers, so as to obtain a homogeneity and uniform strength. That is exactly core sand preparation. Nothing but what core sand, then binder, then additives, all they are added in a mixer or muller, and they are thoroughly mixed each other to obtain the homogeneity and uniform strength. Then core making or core molding you can call it as then. So cores are generally are manually or using machines they are making. Machines are used for large scale continuous production. A core box is essentially used for core preparation. A core box resembles a pattern in many aspects. The core box should be made in such a way that it can be withdrawn easily from the core box without damaging the shape and the surface. For the purpose, a core box must be provided with sufficient draft and shrinkage allowance. Many times, machining or finishing allowance are essential for the casting interiors. So, different types of core boxes are off core box, dump core box, split core box, strickle core box, gang core boxes, and so many core boxes are using them. And in these core boxes are made into two hollow. Then when assembled they constitute a cavity in which the prepared core sand they filled and rammed thoroughly. And once it is dried, then they open the what core boxes and take out the what green cores and kept on the core plate for drying them. So then next step it is of core venting. So cores must be vented properly. They are assembled and sent for baking. Core venting is essential to provide easy escape for gases and steam produced when molten metal surround the core. Though sufficient permeability is provided by the use of special additives like wood floor, venting is required to make a smooth way for the gases. Venting is done by making adequate channels using scratches into the surfaces at the core interiors. Cores made with a single piece. Vent holes are made with the wires or rods which are present as an integral part of the core box. So this is very important. Core venting, without core venting you cannot able to escape the gases produced during solidification, because it completely surrounds molten metal, so escapes gases. These gases should be going out from the mold. So that's what vent wires or even then nylon thread, or sometimes they make a scratches, are all made along with the cores. Then coming to the what core baking, then green cores are baked in an oven, in an oven in the temperature range of about 150 to 400 degrees centigrade. Baking is carried out in order to remove moisture content. In fact, the hot strength and and to bring a chemical changes in the binders. Underbaked cores raises gas and may cause many defects in the casting. Overbaked cores may collapse too easily and may break before the solidification of the metal. Depending upon the size and the number of cores, core baked, different types of oven such as a batch oven, continuous oven, dielectric bakers are used then. So all these are used to drive up the moisture content from the core then. So baking nothing but what it is heated in an oven between 150 to 400 degrees centigrade to drive up the moisture content. Therefore they became dry and provide strength then. Then core finishing then. Core finishing or finishing of cores then. So the operations performed after baking of cores to make them ready for use are called core finishing operation. Core finishing operations are cleaning, sizing, core assembly, inspection, all it comes under core finishing operations. So cleaning nothing but what consists of operations like trimming then. Core finishing under the trimming then. Trimming removes fins and any other projections on the cores. Brushing is done to remove loose sand. Refractor and protective materials are coated on cores to improve the refractoriness and surface finish. Mudding involves localized coating or filling of moist graphite or red talc on cores to make them smooth. Venting is done to make the passage for gases. Then all it is carried out along with the core finishing. Then sizing, it is performed to finish the cores to correct dimensions because according to the dimensional accuracy interior to be produced then. So these cores should be measured, trimmed or sized by using a emery sheets or something or files. And any excess material is removed from the cores, to be removed from the cores. This is done by hand filing or by grinding machine or by emery paper. All comes under sizing then. Then core assembly, if cores are made in a loose pieces, they need to be assembled to required assembled to the required shape. Then cores can be assembled by pasting, bolting or leading. Pasting and leading is useful for small cores. Bolting is done for very large cores. Then after core assembly, whole assembly it is measured and confirm the what size of the total size of the core. Then finally they inspect them before the cores are sent for molding. Then it is essential to inspect for accurate dimensions, cleanliness and proper assembly then. So once it is inspected then, so then it will be sent to the what molding then. So all these are the what different types of what the different operations involved in core making then. So these are very important for the what examination point of view then. You need to what thoroughly understand before understanding the casting process. Then types of cores, then principles of gating system, then risers, types of risers will all will discuss in the forthcoming class then. Thank you, good day, stay home, stay safe, use sanitization, um, wear mask, use sanitization, maintain social distance and stay safe at home then. Thank you, good day then.